The gambling god himself is finally available to summon. That's right, you can go summon for Aventurine right now in Honkai Star Rail. But the question is, should you? Should you summon for this incredibly beautiful, beautiful man? Well, I'm going to try and answer that question for y'all today and give you a little bit of clarity to help you make a decision on if you should summon for this magical Aventurine gentleman right next to me. Because he is really good. Like, he's really good. So why do I say Aventurine is so good, but maybe you don't want to summon for him? Well, I'll explain why he's really good first. That's because Aventurine here is a preservation unit. You can see here at the top. He's meant to shield your team, to be a defender, to keep your team alive. He's a sustain unit. And that's normally what people call healers and like shielders, defenders in Honkai Star Rail if you don't know. But he's a sustain unit. He's meant to keep your team alive. So your DPS can focus on DPSing and your supports can focus on supporting. He's meant to just keep everyone alive. That's what he's meant to do. And he does it so incredibly well. He has a skill here which gives your whole team shield, but he starts off the battle giving your whole team a shield. And then his talent here, which for any single ally with Fortified Wager, which is the shield he gives you, that's what it's called, Fortified Wager, their effect resistance increases. So that's a positive. You like having more effect resistance. And when they get attacked, Aventurine accumulates Blind Bet. I'll demonstrate this in the actual battle. But when Aventurine has Fortified Wager, he can resist crowd control debuffs. So when he has his own shield, he can resist crowd control debuffs, which are things that normally would make it so he can't take a turn. Freeze, the imaginary break, all those things. Anything that stops him from actively having his own turn. He ignores those when he has his own. And when upon reaching 7 points of Blind Bet, he consumes all 7 points, launches a follow-up attack that deals imaginary damage to random single enemy targets, and recovers your team shields. Let me demonstrate this with how the little demo trial battle starts off. They do a great job of just kind of demonstrating this. You can see we have shields here on all of our units.
I'm fine.
And we're getting attacked. Oh, look at that! Bang!
No dirty tricks.
And they're just going. Like, they literally just go and go and go. They do a lot of attacks here. But as you can see, after all of those attacks, we have taken no damage at all. Literally none. We actually might have... Aventurine has more shield than he started the battle with. And the enemy team, we've got one guy weakness broken over there, and then the rest have taken a little bit of damage. This guy's almost weakness broken himself, as with this one. And they just did a whole bunch of attacks. Like, I haven't done anything. I haven't gotten to do a turn yet. We also have ultimates, because every time we took an attack, you gain energy, but we didn't take any damage. We're chilling. We're fine. And what I was talking about with his stacks, you can see here on him, when I remove my face, we have 3 out of 7. Every single time that gets over 7, or 7 itself, 7 and above, we launch the follow-up attack. Now you're wondering, okay, how does it get to 7? Well, every time every single one of them was attacked, that's 1 stack he gains. So when they did those attacks, those AoE attacks that hit Pella, Welt, and Aventurine, that's 3 stacks right there stacked up. You can see that stacks up pretty quickly. As long as they're not getting like absolutely single targeted and they're just pounding down on a single dude over and over and over, you're going to just continue to regain shield through Aventurine's technique, which is why I say he's so good. He keeps the whole team alive. He just keeps everyone alive, which he's meant to do. Some people with his ability to do like a follow-up attack and then based on his ultimate, which I'll demonstrate right here because it looks really cool.
The dice have been cast. Bust.
Bam, throw it.
Or maybe I'll take it off.
I love how you can see that there is like the enemy on it. Just looks cool. Because of his ultimate and his ability to do follow-up attacks, people kind of view him as like he does damage, and some people are trying to get a lot of damage out of Aventurine, which if your goal is to have Aventurine be like your DPS or something, that's not him. Be quiet, Pella. That's not him. He's not that guy. But if your goal is to keep the team alive, like look at how much shield we have. Ridiculous. And all I've done is an Aventurine ult, just to demonstrate, which we earned from them beating the hell out of us. So Aventurine is amazing at keeping your team alive. The best in the game, which is why I say he's so good. Why would you not summon for him? Well, maybe you already have fuxuan. Maybe you have gepard. Maybe they get the job done for you. You've never had any problems. Maybe you have luocha. Maybe you have huahua. Maybe you have a bunch of other good sustain characters. Gallagher. Whatever you got that work for your teams, and you're never close to really dying in any of these, battles or any of the modes in the game. If that's the case, and you would rather save for the upcoming Robin and Boothill, then skip Aventurine. Save. He's not like, oh my god, you're not going to be able to beat content if you don't have Aventurine, but Aventurine does make playing content a lot easier, which is why I say he's really good, but you don't necessarily need him. And that's kind of where I'm at. I have summoned for him. As you can tell, we didn't get him since I'm sitting here in the trial while running him. I lost the 50-50. Actually got gepard, so that was really fun watching 5-star preservation pop up on my screen. That was a good time, and then it not being Aventurine. So I'm deciding though if I want to go for the guarantee and just get a copy of Aventurine, or if I would rather save that guarantee for Robin or Boothill. I really want Boothill personally. That's just me loving Boothill's design and everything about him, which of course we don't know a whole lot about him. But Aventurine's really good. And this video is not super long. Like, it's just not incredibly long because there's not a whole lot to say. He's gonna shield your team. This isn't like a guide on how to build him. I can make one of those for sure. You want defense, mainly. That's like your main goal, is defense. You don't need his light cone, I will say that. That's another reason you could go for him. You don't need his light cone. Let me make that clear. His light cone just helps him do more damage. If your whole goal is just keeping your team alive, you don't need the light cone. It's not necessary for him to be really good at keeping your team alive. Let me just make that incredibly clear, which is another actual positive for him. Like a lot of characters, like Acheron, you wanted to get Acheron's light cone. Without Acheron's light cone, Acheron's not quite Acheron. But Aventurine can be Aventurine without his light cone. He just won't do as much damage on the follow-ups, which, sure, it's nice to have everyone be able to do more damage on your team, but he's not going to be a DPS, and that's not really his main focus. His main focus is keeping your team alive. So if you want to save for Robin or Boothill, and if you don't know about them, I have some videos talking about them. You can also look it up. Both of them are looking... Robin is looking to be exceptional as a support, and Boothill is looking to be very interesting as a hunt character. If you don't think... You don't have fuxuan, you don't have locha, you don't have hua, you don't have a gepard, you kind of struggle with staying alive, go for Aventurine. You don't struggle, skip. Save those jade for someone else in the future. And yeah, that's really it. Also, if you run Topaz and Dr. Ratio, phenomenal partner here. The IPC gang, they work phenomenally well. So you can definitely run him with them. He's really good. That's probably like his best team because of all the like follow-up attacks and how that works with Aventurine. But again, you don't need them. You can run Aventurine on any team. Just kind of mentioning that if you run them and you were thinking about skipping him, he does work really well, just so you know. Yeah, that's really it. Incredibly simple video here. Just kind of wanted to demonstrate that Aventurine is going to keep your team alive. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe. If you want a guide on Aventurine, I can definitely start making those. I think I'll probably make one anyway, but let me know in the comments if you want one. And let me know if you pulled Aventurine. Love to hear if you guys pulled Aventurine, if you did summon. Wish you the best of luck if you do plan on summoning for him. And yeah, hopefully y'all can get your Aventurines. If not, Robin and Boothill are on deck, baby, and they are looking spicy.